The NFL world keeps on buzzing as now the Cincinnati Bengals are, in my opinion, making a massive mistake allowing Trey Hendrickson the permission to seek a trade with the idea that they want to get the deal done, free up the cap space, and extend both Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. From the Bengals perspective here, I think this is a massive miscue and a massive misstep for this team at this point in time, as they are prioritizing not just one wide receiver, but two wide receivers over a premier edge rusher in football. And to me, that is just not a winning formula. I would understand this if it had, it was, hey, we have to pick between Jamar Chase or Trey Hendrickson. I would understand leaning Jamar Chase in that situation, although it's a lot closer than people would want to say, but I get it. Jamar is, perhaps the top player at his position, an explosive guy who could take anything to the house at any given moment. Trey Hendrickson, however, is a premier elite edge rusher in football. This guy has had back-to-back seasons of 17.5 sacks. The guy led the NFL in sacks this past season and was an all-pro. And the team is prioritizing their wide receiver 2 and T. Higgins over him. To me, this is a massive misstep. And I don't want what I'm saying here to be misinterpreted. I think T. Higgins is a phenomenal player in this league. And I think T. Higgins could be a wide receiver 1 on a lot of freaking NFL teams. And the guy can absolutely ball out and produce. I love watching him play. I think he's an excellent player. That is not what we are debating here. We are debating team construction. And when it comes to team construction, not valuing your defense 1, but your defensive line especially, and in place valuing offense, and a wide receiver 2 for your team at that is a massive miscue. The Bengals defense was suspect this year as it was. Trey Hendrickson was, a bright spot on what was a really bad unit. But that being said, this year, the Bengals, with Joe Burrow pretty much healthy all year, missed the playoffs. So the plan is to not only run it back, but run it back with a worse defense? It's crazy to me. And I think that there is a way easier path to replacing a T. Higgins production than there is to replacing a Trey Hendrickson's production. I'm not saying 1,000-yard wide receivers just fall out of the sky left and right, but in this draft, where Cincinnati has, the 18th-ish pick, Luther Burden, Emeka Egbuka, Tyler Warren, Loveland, there's a ton of weapons that are going to be on the board that could be easily number 2 weapons in an offense to Jamar Chase. And with Chase Brown out of the backfield as a pass catcher, you can do just fine. Maybe get a Christian Kirk or a veteran wide receiver on a cheap deal, bring Tyler Boyd back. But at the end of the day, having an elite quarterback like Joe Burrow, you don't need to surround him with premier wide receivers. We've seen Patrick Mahomes get to Super Bowls without them. Josh Allen get to AFC Championship games. Lamar Jackson. And you have one already in Jamar Chase. You certainly don't need to. And if you can't afford to keep your premier edge rusher while keeping your wide receiver 2, I think it's an easy choice who's out the door. This is a football mindset mistake that the Cincinnati Bengals are making here. That's the bottom line here. This is a massive mistake. Now, for the rest of the league, this is a massive opportunity. You don't just see 17.5 sack guys be available for trade. We know Myles Garrett requested one, but the Browns said that ain't happening. And I don't know if I believe that, but the Bengals are flat out letting Trey Hendrickson find a trade partner. Jordan Schultz already reporting that the Commanders and Falcons are monitoring this situation, both of which would be massive, both of which have the cap space to pay him. Both teams could use an edge rusher. It'd be a home run for either team. Obviously, Washington with Jaden Daniels, who's a top 8 quarterback in football, who was just in the NFC Championship. The same thing that I've said about the Texans with CJ Stroud is true for the Commanders. While you have the opportunity, pedal to the metal, foot on the gas, go make a move. You only get a premier quarterback on a rookie deal for so long. Pay all the talent around him while you can. That's how you get a super team. For the Falcons, is Michael Penix going to be the guy? I don't know. But while you're figuring that out, you can certainly afford the luxury of a premier edge rusher. And Lord knows the Falcons are desperate for pass rusher. Trey Hendrickson would be a no-brainer for both of these teams. I also think every team that you've seen on a list that should be considering going after Myles Garrett should also consider Trey Hendrickson, whether that's the Detroit Lions, the Green Bay Packers, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, although I doubt the Bengals would ever trade with them. Every one of those teams, every team that's looking to contend has to at least call and see what the price is on Hendrickson. Again, a miscue, in my opinion, not trading T. Higgins and instead trading Trey Hendrickson. Is this just to appease Joe Burrow? Is there something more to this that we don't know? Is Joe Burrow telling the Bengals, if you don't keep Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, I'm going to request a trade? Maybe. I'm starting to think that might be a possibility because otherwise this is inexcusable team direction here from Cincinnati. This isn't a winning formula. Simply put, it's not. And there's going to be a team, whether it's Washington, Atlanta, Green Bay, Detroit, Philadelphia, Buffalo, Minnesota, San Francisco, the Rams, somebody will capitalize on this. And Trey Hendrickson not only can be an impact player today, but can be what makes a team a Super Bowl threat. The question is, what team lands him? And Cincinnati better get a damn good package back for making a move like this. If you love the NFL and you want to stay up to date with everything as we head into free agency, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Give me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you think the Bengals are making a massive mistake moving off of Trey Hendrickson in an effort to keep T. Higgins and Jamar Chase? Or do you think that I'm just seeing this situation completely wrong? Who do you think Trey Hendrickson ends up playing for in 2025? I appreciate your guys' support, and I will catch you next time. Peace.